Jamari Connor can't cover a soul. He can't stop a nosebleed, Xavier. And here's my thing. The other part of that, too, is the simple fact that these guys are running wide open. I'm talking about the veteran Keenan Allen. There's not a guy within 5 or 10 yards of him. He made Welcome to the Heartland Huddle, Chiefs, Lions, and NFL Talk. I'm Eric. This is my co-host, Xavier. Xavier, how you doing today?
Good, man.
Good.
A little sad, but I'm doing good.
Hey, we've got a lot to get into. The games are fresh, both the Chiefs and the Lions, of course, starting out the season 0-1, and we'll jump into it in just a second. But first, of course, like I said, this is the Heartland Huddle podcast, Chiefs, Lions, and NFL Talk. You can catch us every Wednesday here on our YouTube channel at Heartland NFL Talk and our Spotify channel as well, Heartland Huddle. But enough of that. Like, subscribe. But let's get into it. Disappointing start to the NFL season. Disappointing start. Not the way I think you and I, as both Lions and Chiefs fans, wanted to start, thought we were going to start. Initial thoughts. Just let's start with the Lions. Just initial thoughts on what you saw.
Initial thoughts were the offensive line is not the same. It's different. You can see it.
Yeah.
Jared Goff you could see he was so used to having the time to scan the field and throw the ball. He didn't have that type of time. And then I noticed they got away from what he's used to doing, which is play action, running the ball. They wasn't effective running the ball. Play action wasn't effective. He tried to, they did several plays where he was just dropping back in the pocket. Didn't work. It was just like nothing was clicking on the offense for me. Defensively, first quarter, they was getting beat. Amik Robinson was getting beat. Terrion Arnold was getting beat. Brian Branch was getting beat. Everybody was getting beat. Then they kind of cleaned it up a little bit toward the end of the second quarter. Throughout the third quarter, then they kind of let it go a little bit, in the fourth quarter, and ultimately, gave away more points at the end of the game. But from an overall standpoint, nothing to me personally looked good at all. So.
Yeah, I would agree with you, especially coming out. I mean, I think there was so much hype. I think that obviously around the Micah Parsons trade has overshadowed stuff over the last week. But I still think you and I obviously thought Detroit would come out and have a better showing than that.
Yeah.
Especially for Micah Parsons being played on a limited snap count, but we'll kind of get to that in a second. But your initial analysis, I would definitely agree with you, Xavier. I just think that this is more of an experienced group now. I know they didn't play this preseason. We all know that the Lions had so many defensive injuries towards the end of last year. But still, to your point, Brian Branch, Amik Robertson, Terrion Arnold, you thinking he's going to take the leap. He ends up exiting with a groin injury in that game, which gives you concern, right? Now going forward, if you're the Lions, shades of last season. And then, on top of that, Aiden Hutchinson started out the game hot, but then really not being able to get to Jordan Love, get a lot of pressure there. Jordan Love was able to scan the field. So I completely agree with you. Let me ask you, though, Xavier, look, let me preface this by saying I know it's one game. And hey, look, guys, we're going to get to the Chiefs. Trust me, we're going to get to the Chiefs. But I know it's one game. I know it's the start of the season and everybody loves to overreact. But I got to tell you, for one game, divisional 0-1, do you see this as not a changing of the guard, because the NFC North is going to be tough, but are the Packers the team to beat in the NFC North?
They look like it today. And I just think that you can tell the differences in not even on the defensive side of the ball to me, because Aaron Glenn, he was great, but he was good. But to me personally, from what I've seen, he wasn't great. So I think defensively, it was kind of about where it normally is, But offensively, you complete and utter difference. You can see the difference. Like Jared Goff was scared. Like, not to say that he was scared, it's just like he seemed intimidated. Like every time Parsons did come out to the field, I don't know, he just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Nothing looked the same. You could tell he had no trust everybody in the middle, Graham,
Yeah.
Tate, and I forget who the other guard was on his left side. You could tell he didn't trust them at all. You could tell like he too many quick passes, 2 yard, 3 yards here to Jameer. I think Sam Laporta had the most yards for like 75 or 79 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
St. Brown only had 45 yards.
A lot of that in garbage time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, rushing, neither running back got more than 20 yards each in rushing.
Right.
It was just, it was terrible, man. That was a terrible showing, man. And their power source has been weakened. The offensive line is not as strong as it was.
Yep.
And that's just the gist of it to me as far as offense go. They're not the same. They got to come up with a new game plan and figure out a way to move the ball better with the offensive line not being where it once was. They're gonna have to adjust to that.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I agree with you, Xavier. I think we previewed that, by the way, in our preseason episode. Check that out, by the way, on our YouTube channel and on our Spotify that is up. But in our preseason, sort of predictions episode, looking at training camp and storylines, one of the storylines was obviously the new offense and defensive coordinators going to Kelvin Shepard on the defensive side and Ben Johnson Ben Johnson going to Chicago, and now, of course, John Morton as the OC. But the other part that we previewed in that training camp video was the interior offensive line with the Zeitler going to Minnesota, and, of course, the retired of, was it Ragnow or Glasgow?
Frank
Ragnow,
Ragnow.
Frank Ragnow, who was a top 3 center in football. And I think you and I have been following the Lions, particularly you, for a long time, but you and I have been entrenched in Detroit culture since Dan Campbell's come over, really since
Yeah.
Sheila Ford Hamp has taken over as ownership of the team. And one of the things that, I think overshadowed some of our concerns with the interior offensive line was the fact that you still have Jared Goff. You still have Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. You've got an experienced play caller, an experienced head coach now that have been through a lot together. And that, I think we were expecting to make up for maybe some of the deficiency, of that interior offensive line. But it's clear that trade of Micah Parsons, the fear of what he can and might be able to do.
You see it.
The fact that you see him 2 times in the year now, right? 2 times in the division. You'll play the Packers in Ford Field later on this year. You see, like you said, Jared Goff, that unsurety there, that sort of, okay, we know we have to account for him. We just don't know how to account for him yet. And it definitely showed up, even with him on a pitch clock, even with him on a snap count today. That was pretty interesting to see.
Even when he did come out, third downs, it was a couple of times that they had him out there second down and third down. You could see the difference. Like, he definitely made an impact. His presence made an impact for sure. And he was getting the best of Penei Sewell. He really was.
He did. And Penei Sewell, mind you, sorry to cut you off, Xavier. Mind you, audience, this is a 2-time first-team All-Pro right tackle now, and Micah Parsons to have that impact. But I wanted to, real quick, to the offense and defense coordinator. I know execution wasn't that great today on the personnel side of things, on the players. But overall, what did you think of Morton's play calling as well? How did he adapt during the game?
And he never adapted during the game. They had a couple of plays that made you think that they, could get the ball in the end zone, but for the most part, they didn't. He kept, like, he was doing those back-to-back run plays. They wasn't effective with the run.
Yeah.
Clearly, you wasn't effective. You have 40 yards in total all day in the run. So why are you running back-to-back run plays? It's okay to start off with the run and get into your play action, some screens, something, do something. Nothing he did was effective, man. I hate to say it, but it wasn't effective. And I knew that too, though. Watching preseason, that was one of the things I was focused on, was the play calling. He was doing the exact same thing, back-to-back run plays when they're ineffective. Now I'm calling a play action call, or I want my quarterback to just drop back in the pocket, and none of it worked. None of it worked. Green Bay was on top of everything, man. They were on top of everything. None of it worked. And then not to move too far ahead, but when you think about who we have next, who knows the team inside and out, you know what I mean? Will we look better? Will it be better? You know what I mean? Will Dan Campbell have to really sit down with Johnny Martin and dig a little deeper into that playbook and get him to another level as far as the way he calling plays or whatever, or him and Jared Goff? They have to do something, man, because that was terrible, man. Nothing looked the same. Nothing looked like the last 3 years, like none of it.
Yeah,
And then, the defense side of the ball, Aiden Hutchinson, he'll get better and better
sure.
each game, but we still didn't get a whole lot of pressure on the quarterback. You know what I mean? The secondary wasn't what I thought it was. They were getting beat, bro.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were getting beat
All game.
and all game. They were getting beat. Brian Branch, he's good, but I don't think he's gonna be a Lion past this year. Just
Really?
because, yeah, only reason why I say that, the last year, the last game we played against Green Bay, he got kicked out of that game.
Yeah,
He almost got kicked out of the game today.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's all it takes for Brad Holmes is for those little, to us, it seems small, but to him is big, especially when it comes to, wanting to get paid and all of that type of stuff or whatever. That'll be the reason he trades you. You know what I mean?
Well, that's an interesting point that you bring that up. My only pushback against that is one, I mean, like you said, we know Brian Branch is clearly very talented, but the other part of that
Yeah.
too, I mean, one thing that we haven't talked about, Jameson Williams, big $83 million contract he signed before the season. They got it done. 3 years. Was it $86 million or 83?
84,
80,
actually.
yeah, 3 years, $84 million. Jameson Williams with, I think, 65 guaranteed. I think it was somewhere
Yeah.
around 65. And so my only thing, which great for Jameson Williams, great for the Lions. I think that just shows how much Detroit really believes in that young guy. But to your point about Brian Branch, Xavier, I mean, if you remember, of course, Jameson Williams comes into the league. He spends his first years hurt with an ACL, plays one game, tears it up.
Yeah, had a few off the field
Off
issues.
the
Yeah,
field
yeah, you're
issues,
right.
and they were still comfortable enough to pay him. I would have to believe that with Brian Branch's talent and what he's shown the past 2 years, that the Detroit's also going to be comfortable with him, even with maybe some behavioral stuff, him being passionate while on the field.
Yeah. Yeah. You still have to tone it back a little bit and understand where you are and who you are. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Especially just imagine if he'd have got ejected out of that game
yeah.
because he literally took the guy's helmet off his head and then tossed it.
Yeah, then
You
yeah,
see what I'm saying? Like
held on to it, and then said, "I'll
yeah,
toss it over here." Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, man. You come on now. We got to be better than that. You know
yeah,
what I mean? It's stuff like that. Even Jameson Williams, he almost got
yeah.
he
Taunting,
almost got a.
taunting, and they're cracking down on that this year. That's been a point of emphasis. You've heard it in all the
Mhm.
broadcasts so far, preseason and now week one. You've heard a crackdown in the NFL rules of the taunting stuff, talking trash, all of that, and those are going to be the learning things, and that's where that culture comes into play. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, obviously going into the film room saying, "Hey, shut it up, fellas. We're not going to shoot ourselves in the foot." I think that stuff will
Yeah.
take care of itself. No, overall, what did you? Yeah, so I mean, overall, I'm with you. I thought John Morton failed to adapt as the game went on. I thought it was a bit more vanilla. Now, mind you, relatively speaking to Ben Johnson in the past, I don't know if anybody's going to call as many trick plays and quite dynamic things like Ben Johnson has, but still, guys, look, clearly this is a talented Green Bay team. This is a team that has spent all offseason thinking about Detroit. It's a team that makes a huge trade for Micah Parsons and says, "Hey, we want this division and we want to win now. We're the Green Bay Packers. This is it." Felt for Detroit to come out and struggle the way they did with the veteran talented team Detroit has. They felt a bit underprepared, and they felt a bit, to me, Xavier, overwhelmed with
Yeah.
just how is Micah Parsons going to look, and once Green Bay came out and made a couple of plays, they punched Detroit in the mouth with that long drive to start the game. Then Detroit actually settled in a little bit after Green Bay went up 10-0 or whatever it was. Detroit actually settled in a little bit. I felt they kind of were like, okay, cool. They
The defense,
they
yeah,
settled
yeah,
down. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're right. They did. They settled down through the second quarter and all of the third quarter.
Yeah,
Green Bay didn't score again, I don't believe, until fourth quarter. So you're right. They did settle down a little bit on defense and they got a little comfortable, but
but the offense couldn't. Yeah, the offense
the
couldn't get.
offense, and I seen it, I felt it. It was written all over the walls that Jared Goff and Johnny Martin, they weren't gonna get it right. They just wasn't gonna get it right. And yeah, you just seen it, man. The Green Bay was ready. They were ready.
Yeah, and I think with that interior offensive line, we talk about pass protection and Jared Goff, but we also got to think the running game. When you have Jahmyr Gibbs was able to, the yards he did get was based off of pure ability, him being so fast to the outside with his quick first step. But the
Yeah.
last 3 years, we've seen Montgomery and Gibbs be able to run through a hole without being touched for the first 3 or 4 yards.
That was the thing,
Yeah.
Eric. That line, they weren't opening
They
any
weren't
holes.
moving. They weren't
They
moving
weren't
that D line
moving
back.
people.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
They lost the
they
trench.
didn't do, yeah, they didn't. It's just not the same, man. And I know it's based off of strength, power, and mental capability, but they did not have that today at all. Like, yeah, they didn't have that today at all, man. I don't know what was wrong, but
So
they gotta fix that.
yeah, because realigning the division now, bigger picture here. It's one game. You're 0-1. Next week, who do you guys have on the docket?
Chicago.
Chicago. We get to see them Monday night, obviously. Them open up Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and the crew.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to
Mm-hmm.
see that, where they're at looking week one. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's tough too. 2 divisional games to start the year. And we all know you can't win a Super Bowl in September, but you can sure the hell lose one. You know, if you start, you go down 0-2 in the division, it starts getting late real early if you're Detroit. And I think that's a perfect segue into the second team of this podcast. This is the Heartland Huddle, Chiefs, Lions, and NFL Talk. You can catch us every Wednesday on our YouTube channel at Heartland NFL Talk, along with our Spotify channel as well. Heartland, make sure you guys shop our merchandise. You can catch the link in our bio of our channel and, of course, in the description of this episode. Xavier, I'm going to refrain from my rant right now. I've had some time to settle on it. My blood pressure is come down a little bit. But your initial thoughts Friday night when we watched the Sao Paulo Brazil game, Chiefs Chargers.
My initial thoughts too was Isaiah Pacheco is not good. He's not good to me.
Yep.
But
Check one. You're right. Ding, ding, ding. You hit that one. Yep.
Xavier Worthy running into Travis Kelce. I don't know who was off. I don't know if it was Worthy or Kelce. One of them was off, but he took a powerful hit from Kelce and he couldn't come back from it. And I think that threw Patrick Mahomes off as far as the game plan and everything, because I know for a fact he was looking to use him. And,
Yeah. With Rice
you
out.
know,
Yeah.
Juju Smith would have been, you know, the secondary or third option. You know what I mean? He ended up having to look to Juju a lot after Xavier Worthy went. I think that kind of changed the game plan a little bit. They didn't look the same either. Travis Kelce, he's getting up there in age. Of course, he's not going to play like he did 3, 4, 5 years ago. You know.
Yeah.
Uh, Offensive line. What's the not the new guy, not the rookie Simmons. The guy plays right tackle.
Jawan Taylor. Good Lord.
Jawan Taylor, man, yeah. I mean, he's okay, but he can destroy some stuff for you. I noticed that about him. Defensively, where was Chris Jones? I don't know. I even seen was it the linebacker or the safety that was yelling at him or something like, "Hey, man, you need to do your job."
Drew Tranquil, our linebacker. Yep.
Yeah. Just my thoughts, man. I don't think that like they can't move into week 2, week 3 playing that way either. You know what I mean? It's just like they were off. Like everybody just has to catch this groove or something, you know. And I trust more in Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes than I do Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. I think the Chiefs will get it together first before the Lions will. That's just my thoughts. I hate to say that, but that's just my thoughts on what I think. But overall, it wasn't a good game for the Chiefs.
No.
They wasn't ready offensively or defensively. And I think part of the reason was Xavier Worthy going out real early in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was part of the game plan, like the bigger picture of the game plan. And him going out. What was the third play of the game? Fourth play of the game?
Third play.
Third
Yep.
play of the game, he's done. And I think that played a major part with it. The running game, I don't think the running game, it just wasn't there at all. Isaiah Pacheco is just not that guy.
Yep.
To me, that's just my opinion. He's not that guy.
I agree with you on everything you just said. Just the quick anecdote here, Xavier. A few weeks ago, I go to the doctor, my primary care physician, and if you ask my wife, I'll always say, hey, I'm healthy as an ox. But my wife, the woman, the great woman she is, she has all my test results emailed to her. And that way she knows if I'm telling the truth or not. Well, my doctor calls me the next day and says, hey, Eric, you're pretty healthy. However, your LDL levels are high. You need to cut out some sugar. You got to cut out the red meat. I just got a smoker. And you need to bring some of that cholesterol down. I was on track, Xavier. I was on track. I started smoking fish on my Traeger. I started smoking chicken. I started doing the white meat. I cut out all the Busch Light, and Chiefs football season starts. And then I get elevated right back up here. Son of a gun. Shamari Connor can't cover a soul. He can't stop a nosebleed, Xavier. And here's my thing. We'll talk about the pass rush in just a moment. The other part of that, too, is the simple fact that these guys are running wide open. I'm talking about Lad McConkey. I'm talking about the veteran Keenan Allen. There's not a guy within 5 or 10 yards of him. That was my thing. Listen, if they're making tough contested catches because we're playing good defense on the back end, mind you, Jaden Hicks, Trent McDuffie, 2-time first-team All-Pro, where were you at? Drew Tranquill, Nick Bolton, where are you?
Yeah.
You weren't 5 to 10 yards within the open wide receiver.
Yeah, I would say the Chargers receiver core, all had a
This
day,
man, Justin Herbert, is 6'6", 250 pounds, and standing tall like a statue, able to make all the freaking throws he wanted to make, no questions asked. Then we get to the pass rush. Chris Jones, see ya. I don't care.
Yeah.
You make $32 million for one. I don't care that you're double teamed. I don't care that you won 3 Super Bowls. I don't care about any of that. George Karlaftis coincidentally gets his new 4-year deal. Where was he? And this isn't like they're going against an all-pro. This is a second-year tackle in Joe Alt who moved. They don't even have Rashawn Slater. They're all-pro left guard and tackle. He's hurt for the year. Joe Alt, the second-year guy, moves over to left tackle, and Charles Omenihu, George Karlaftis, you guys can't win a one-on-one against the second-year left tackle? I don't care how good he is. And you've got Justin Herbert. We made him look like the second coming of freaking Joe Montana. You know what I mean? And so we understand, X, that it's a team sport. You have to play complementary football to win games in the NFL. You just do. Well, when your pass rush can't get home, your defensive backs have to cover longer. Well, when your defensive backs have to cover longer, wide receivers are more liable to get open. When your defensive backs can't cover for that long and let guys run wide open, the pass rush can't get home because Herbert's able to get rid of the ball. It's complementary. And watching that performance Friday night, I was appalled. I was more worried about how our offense was going to look trying to get back to the popcorn and fireworks versus I was our defense. I thought that was going to be the one constant, especially in a league to where typically the first couple of weeks, the defense is ahead of the offense. Unreal performance. I'm glad Drew Tranquill was yelling at Chris Jones. Because if you remember, the reason why he was yelling at him on that last play that Justin Herbert was able to scramble to the first to ice the game, Chris Jones did a move and cut inside, which gave up outside contain, and Justin Herbert, that's why he was able to get outside and scramble. That's what Drew Tranquill's playing. That's a selfish play by Chris Jones. That's selfish.
Yeah.
He was trying to get a sack instead of keeping contain and doing his job.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, it seemed like, too, that Patrick Mahomes, he didn't have that chemistry like he normally do. He had it with Juju Smith, but
And
he
Hollywood.
needed it with everybody. And Hollywood. He had it with Hollywood. Hollywood dropped several passes, too.
Just one in that first half, but then he picked it up. You could tell he got comfortable.
He picked it up. He got comfortable. He picked it up, but Travis Kelce is not the same. They weren't in sync with each other. He had a couple of good plays, though. But, yeah, man, defensively, I was shocked, man. They made Justin Herbert look like way better than what we thought he
Yeah,
was. You know what I mean? Like those receivers, all of them, they all had
yeah.
a good game.
Just
And
playing.
I didn't even realize, I'm so slow. I didn't know Keenan Allen came back to the Chargers from
Yeah,
Chicago. I didn't even know that until I was watching. I was like, Keenan Allen came back? When did he come back? I
yeah,
didn't even, he shouldn't have never left. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But shout out to him, man. They all
He
had a
was on
good
a he
game,
was on
man.
an expiring deal for a 30-plus-year-old wide receiver. They ship him to
Yeah.
Chicago, but now he's back. Yes. To the
Yeah. But I mean, credit to the Chargers, though.
Yeah.
They did look good. I can't lie.
And
They look
they
good. They
look
look great.
and it's not like they looked unbeatable. It was just that they looked well prepared and well coached and executed
Yeah.
well, which is what
Yeah,
you
they
expect
did.
to do from an Andy Reid led Chiefs team with Patrick Mahomes. To the offensive side of the football, you're absolutely right. Isaiah Pacheco, you little weird New Jersey Dominican, whatever the hell you are, guy, go back to the Jersey Shore. I don't care. You look good. You run hard. You pound your feet into the turf like a toddler, but you don't go anywhere, Isaiah
Yeah, he
Pacheco.
don't.
Good night.
Flat-footed.
Oh,
Yeah.
flat-footed, wants to chop his feet. You don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
bad, Brett Veach and Andy Reid, when a 32-year-old Kareem Hunt who's fat and slow can still get you 3.5 yards a carry. That's your
Yeah.
best option?
Yeah.
Running
Yeah.
game. Running game has to improve. We've known this for a couple of years now. On the receiving front, can we go, Xavier, without getting one of our starting wide receivers either suspended or hurt 3
Or
plays
hurt.
into the
Yeah.
game?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Worthy was going to be the guy. You got a fat,
Yeah.
slow Kelsey. More on him in just a moment. You got a fat, slow old Kelsey who's getting married and doing all these things. Great. See ya. And Rice, you got out who thinks he's Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift in Dallas, suspended
Mhm.
6 games. Hell yeah, Worthy was going to be the guy. And then I
Yeah, he
guarantee
was.
Kelsey ran the wrong route or did something stupid, ran into him, dislocated his shoulder.
See, that's what I was thinking on that play. I was like, was it Worthy or was it Kelsey? And me personally, I would just assume that it's Worthy because of the years and the experience of Kelsey.
Yeah, but I think Kelsey probably ad-libbed his route like he likes to do, like where he likes
okay.
to just run.
Okay.
Him and Mahomes have a weird connection, and he likes to just run whatever.
Okay.
You know what I
can
mean?
see that.
I
And
don't
then put
know
your receiver out the game. Yeah.
exactly. You know, and
That's crazy.
and so now, but to Patrick Mahomes for a second, Patrick LaVon Mahomes the second, I freaking love you. He's the way he played Friday night, lowering his shoulder into the D-back on the sideline, saying, "Get off me." That is how we are supposed to play. Patrick Mahomes is pissed they lost that Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And he was ready to light up the fireworks show. You could tell it. He was ready. Let's roll. And he was the only one who played like we were supposed to, with an edge, with grittiness, with the want to, with the hunger, you know.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, I know he had the 47-yard touchdown. He was wide open. If he has a defender near him, he probably doesn't catch it, and he's not going to stumble his way to the end zone. You're fat and slow. I don't care you lost 25 pounds. I don't care. I'm happy for you personally and your home, but you got to go. This is your last year, Travis Kelce. You don't affect winning. Even when you do get double teamed now, you don't have the athletic ability to try to beat it or fight it. I'm done with you, Travis Kelce.
He's older. His time is up. Yeah.
Go hang it up. Jawan Taylor, I'm done with you. You sorry sacco.
I don't see how they held on to him, but I guess they didn't have too much.
3
of a choice,
holding penalties and 3 false starts and 2 holdings, Jawan Taylor, and 3 quarters of football. You make 20 plus.
I think the timing in his mind just doesn't align with what's actually happening, no matter how much practice he does.
Are you scared of defensive ends? I'd rather you get beat off the edge and allow Pat with his ability to make up for that than you just getting 10-yard penalties, brother.
Yeah.
That kills you.
Yeah.
Especially when.
And that's probably what it is. He probably has a belief that he knows he's going to get beat.
Like, golly, man. And then, you know, and it was just one of those things to where, once again, we got stuck with having to dink and dunk, run little pick routes, hope they work, and get some guys in space. There was
Yeah.
no positives. There's
Yeah.
no, it's the same old thing. I don't know why we get excited in Chiefs Kingdom. I don't care how privileged we are the last 8 years to watch what we've watched. This is a new year, and it's the
Yeah.
same old song and dance, Xavier. And I'm about
Yeah.
tired of it. They need to blow it up. They don't need to blow it up. I'm overacting to week one. But
Yeah. I mean, but they do need
God,
to rearrange some things, though. They need to rearrange some things. Like you say, people can't be hurt, people can't be getting suspended and stuff like that either. You know what I mean? You want to see everything in its entirety,
absolutely.
and that's all. And even with the Lions, we knew coordinators leaving, it would look different, but I didn't think it'll look that different. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? And in that case, Jared Goff could have said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna put a wristband on. I'm gonna call my own damn plays."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I understand what to
Yeah,
do. I know
let's
when
get
to
it
do
going.
it.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. And it was just like no urgency. St. Brown was frustrated. He was upset because he was expecting a hell of a game. You could see it on him. He was he was upset. He was mad. Yeah, man. It was a terrible weekend for football. I guess for us too,
A
anyway.
terrible
You know?
weekend for football. You all know as well, too, if you've been following us. I'm also a Kansas State Wildcats alum and
Yeah.
fan, and lost an Army there, sitting at 1-2 in the Little Apple. But anyway, this is an NFL podcast here. But yeah, just a terrible overall weekend for football. And like I said, Xavier, it's just because we have the expectations we have because of the
Hmm.
franchises and the success we've had over the last
Right.
decade, you guys, 3-4 years now. I mean, the Lions
Right.
have some real experience and some real success under their belts now. And for you guys to
Hmm.
come out and look like that, the unsurety of it, what are the 3 goals of both those teams everywhere? Number 1, win the division.
Win the division, yeah.
Number 2, get the number 1 seed. Number 3, win the Super Bowl. Well, guess what you
Yeah.
just did? You started chitting away the first goal already, and I don't know.
Starting off 0-1 is tough, man. What a disappointing way to start, man.
Starting off 0
It
and
just is.
starting off 0 and 1 when of course the Lions have Chicago next week, another divisional game. Starting off 0 and 1 when you've got the defending Super Bowl champions who just beat the brakes off of you in February coming into your house next week, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Then you got
Right.
Baltimore, who right now looks pretty damn good. And
Yeah.
then we've got you guys, the Lions, week 6. I was hoping to get out of the first 6 weeks of our schedule, 4-2. Hell, I'll be happy
Yeah.
with 3-3 now. I'll be
You
happy if
ain't
we get
lying.
out 2-4 now.
You ain't lying. Yeah. You just don't now the expectation you had, it changes. It just changes now once you see your team go 0-1 and you see how sloppy they were and how they're just not in sync. The play calling is not right. It just makes you wonder how long will it take to get to the where you in sync with each other,
Yeah,
where everything is working. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, Green Bay, they look
they
good.
look
Jordan
good.
Love was
They look good.
slinging it. They defense looked great. They shut our run game down completely.
Yep.
They even shut the passing game down completely too. I think in total, well, Jared Goff had 220 yards, but a lot of it was dink and dunk to Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery for 3 or 4 yards here and there. Like he couldn't get anything past that. Like, what are you doing, bro? And it was like he was just like you could just see it in him. He thought he had the time or he was gonna have the time. He just didn't have the time that he would normally have with that old offensive line. And
Yeah.
all that's taken away. You got to change it up, bro. You got to change with the times. You have to change with the line. You don't have the same people no more. Them guys are not elite like that. They just not. Graham Glasgow is great, but he's not elite. He's not Frank Ragnow. You know what I mean? He's just not.
Yeah.
So
You've got
they got
to
to change it up, man.
You've got to adapt year to year, sometimes week to week, and sometimes play to play. You got to adapt.
Yeah.
Now, I would be remiss here on our podcast. Xavier and I know we've been sounding off here. And by the way, if you're still with us, you're a huddler, consider us a part of this podcast and movement. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Catch us every Wednesday on our YouTube channel here, and of course on our Spotify as well at Heartland Huddle. But I would be remiss, Xavier, if we didn't end on a positive note. Right, you know me, it's Sunday evening, we both have work tomorrow, I can't just rest on our laurels, right? I have to be positive, and we do. Not a whole lot to go on Kansas City, so I'll start with Detroit. How about the catch by Isaac T. Slaw?
Yeah. You know
Boy!
what's crazy? I was so upset. I got up and left early, so I didn't see it. I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Unbelievable catch. For those of you guys didn't see it, back corner of the end zone, Isaac Teslaw, the rookie out of Arkansas, big body, 6'3", 220. Goff layers the ball perfectly over the defender's outstretched hands. Teslaw jumps backwards, unhands it behind his head, and comes down and gets his right foot in and heel taps his left heel in the end zone for his NFL career touchdown. And I tell you what, it was really impressive to see. We saw it all during preseason. And I tell you what, Xavier, that's exciting, and that's going to get him on the field. Why? It makes Detroit's team more dynamic. Amon-Ra, shorter in stature, short, powerful slot guy. Jameson Williams, tall, lengthy, skinny, speedster outside. Now you've got this huge 6'4" threat, big body guy who can go up and get the 50-50s. That gives
He
Detroit
catches the ball.
3 different different options on offense.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great highlight. On the Kansas City side, I'll go Hollywood. If I have to choose something, I'll go Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew with Rashee Rice out that he was going to have an opportunity to build some rapport. It's kind of silver lining there. Build some rapport, because then in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs, if you need him in a big spot, Hollywood Brown, it's not like he hasn't caught anything all year, and then you expect him to make some huge catch in the AFC Championship game. But now with Worthy out, hell, now he's our number one. You know, and I thought also our rookie, Tyquan Thornton, I thought played really well. Had the big catch down the sideline and touchdown.
He did.
Yeah, I thought Tyquan Thornton, that was a positive to see. So when you do get Rice back, hopefully Xavier Worthy comes back with the brace later on in the season. You've got Hollywood, Tyquan Thornton that have this time to build that rapport. But yeah, I thought after the drop, Hollywood looked good and settled in and looked like at year 2 in the offense. So I thought that was a positive.
Yeah, and shout out to Juju Smith-Schuster too.
Yes.
He was very dependable for Patrick the other day. Very dependable for him. So I noticed that too. So
I didn't even realize the rookie out of SMU, not SMU, but Jalen Royals, our rookie wide receiver, he was out with the groin injury or hamstring or calf or something like that as well, because I was wondering where he was at.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long road. We've anticipated this. We have spent all off season anticipating and excited about football, and here we are. I think sometimes we forget the roller coaster that the NFL season can be and weigh on our emotion. So here we go, man. Saddle up.
Yes, sir.
So, but with that, guys, no, go ahead. Any final thoughts?
No, man, I agree with you, man. Season is here. Just expect to see something different next week. That's all.
Absolutely. Well, once again, this is the Heartland Huddle podcast. Check us out every Wednesday on our YouTube channel at Heartland NFL Talk and our Spotify channel. Make sure you check out our merchandise. You can catch the link in the description of this video and, of course, in the bio of our YouTube channel here. With that, that's week 1 in a wraps. Catch us on Wednesdays, and we'll be back for week 2 action. So we appreciate it.
Peace.